All right, we have TJ and Russell post-game press conferences after the Week 17 loss to the Chiefs.
We need to work more.
Is that the same answer you look at as far as trying to get more pressure on the quarterback?
Yep. We need to continue to work, look ourselves in the mirror, and get back to work.
Frustrating is it to be at this point in the season when you do have to go back to work after the way things started out? We're in the middle of this year.
You know, I'm excited to attack the work no matter the outcome. I love football. I love the process, and I know there's a lot of guys in the locker room that do also. So we just need to get back to work.
You do what makes Mahomes so difficult to defend and try to get to it, plays he makes.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that he's a hell of a player. He has great weapons. They have a good scheme. You can't afford to spot them points and allow them to scramble around the pocket and have time. And we didn't have any success on any of the things I just said.
Jay, how strong is the belief in that room still, in that defense? I mean, obviously you guys did it for 13, 14 games.
Yeah, we just have to go back to work and go from there.
Mike said that you guys have regressed in terms of turnover culture, that you're just not getting the turnovers you had earlier. Why is that? What's kind of behind that slump?
I'm not sure. I'll have to watch the film and go from there, but it's too fresh right now that I don't know everything that transpired as far as the turnover culture. Obviously, we didn't get the ball today, so it's not good enough.
TJ, is there anything in particular that you see that needs to be corrected in order to get things back on track?
We just need to get back to work, honestly. Just need to continue to work, and everybody dealt with the short week and 3 games in 11 days, so that's no excuse there. We just need to continue to find ways to get better, and as the season goes on, the margins are smaller, and we just need to continue to work and go from there.
All right, we'll open it up for questions.
That was short for TJ.
Can you explain the concept? Were you counting on George to go vertical and carry that safety, or can you explain that for us?
Yeah, I think he's going to go vertical, but at the end of the day, it can't happen. On me, I was trying to give Pat a chance. He's hadn't done such a good job for us down the red zone, and they made a good play.
Russ, what does this offense need to do to get going?
I think that first of all, we just have to play cleaner. That's going to be the first part. I think the second part is we're going to have to study the film and see where we're doing things really well. There's some moments. I mean, we scored a touchdown, got called back. Just those things that happen. In key situations, and then I think at the end of the day, there's going to be adversity in every season, and it comes in different spaces and places and different times. And I'm betting on our guys and who we are and how we're going to respond. I really believe in who we are, the character of guys, the mentality that we have. It's been a tough road, obviously, the past 3 weeks, and we haven't been able to overcome some of the challenges along the way. And that's going to be we got to make that a good thing for us. At the end of the day, when you look back at it all, and hope when we get the chance to play in the playoffs, it becomes 0-0. You know what I mean? It's that's the truth of the playoffs and the opportunity that we have. And so I think that before we get there, though, is that our belief can't waver. Matter of fact, if anything, we got to turn it up even more on our belief. And I think that's a key part to how we respond in the midst of adversity. And the adversity can break you down. The adversity can challenge you in such a way that you start thinking negatively, you start speaking negatively, you start thinking, woe is me, this or that. Or the adversity can challenge you in such a way that there's growth, and the adversity can challenge you in such a way that you try to find the next moment. And I think that with any game, any next moment, you have to believe that this one's going to be the best one. And how we do that is going to be by really great fundamentals, really great communication, really great execution. Like I said, we did some really good things today, but we also did a lot of bad, in a way. And so, how do we remove that and just get better? And I think that's got to be our focus as a team, as a whole team. We got to get better, and it starts with us, in my opinion, and just trying to find a way to, capitalize on moments.
Pass rush that they generated, were you surprised they were able to get that much going without Jones? And did they do anything schematically that you weren't expecting in the absence of him at the last minute to sort of adjust?
No, I mean, they didn't do anything schematically necessarily that we weren't prepared for. They did a little bit more 5-3-3 and different things that they did, but to be honest with you, I just think that they made more plays than we did. I think that it was a battle out there for sure, and just I try to use my legs a little bit more in certain situations when something wasn't there or whatever, and just try to get first downs and keep the ball moving.
You did rush for that touchdown.
So I think at the end of the day, they, like I said, it's a simple game. They made more plays than we did.
Okay, that's not it. 5, so about another 8 minutes.
Teams do up front to make more plays? Like, were there things that you guys could come back and you can say, hey, we had to pick this up better? Were there certain things they were running to get you guys off rhythm more?
Honestly, I got to watch the film of it, but like I said, they did a good job. They played better than we did as a collective effort, as a collective team, and they capitalized on moments and stuff. And so, we were third and long, too many times, especially in that. I think in the second half, we just had too many situations where we were kind of backed up. We couldn't get a rhythm in certain moments, and so scored 16-10, and coming out of half, and we have a great opportunity to go down the field and try to make something happen, and nothing really happened for us the right way. So we got to figure that out and study that and just see where we can get better. And I still love how we competed at the very end of it. I think it's, despite it all, guys not giving up and giving in.
Third straight game, you guys haven't scored 20 points. Third straight game, you guys have lost. What are some of the themes that you guys are able to identify and say, hey, these are the key parts that we have to adjust to turn things around?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, all about us making plays, staying on schedule. I think that's just the name of the game, especially offensively. We're going to have to be able to do that moving forward. Obviously, we got a big one at home next week, and that one's going to matter to us in a lot of ways. And it's going to matter in a lot of ways because, we want to catch that momentum going into the playoffs and how we play the right way. And you have to be singularly focused. I know it's, you look back and, no matter what the circumstances are, you can look back and, if we had won all 3 games, and everything else, it's, you look back and you go in the playoffs and you're not prepared and you don't play right and it's over. Or, you can lose these 3 games and respond the right way, and be ready to go. And I think that there's highs and lows in every season, like I said, and so we got to make sure that we end this last game on the right footing, and right belief. And that's going to be really key to how we go about it, and how we respond. I think from there, just going into it, understanding that it's going to be a 0-0 score, come the playoff time, and that's got to be where we are. That's got to be our perspective. And how we go about that's going to really matter over the next really 10 days. How we prepare, how we think about it. I think that obviously, there's been a bunch of games on I don't know how many days, and there's been some ups and downs in it. And so what we're going to have to do is recover physically from that, but also to mentally press in. I think it's going to be a really important part to mentally press in and study and figure out what we can do. And I think that's going to be really critical how we approach it. There's all these teams that we can beat, and we can play better. And when we do play better, I think we're going to be a scary team to play. But we got to make sure that's the case.
Coming into this 3-game and 11-day stretch, you guys knew you'd be tested. What do you feel like you learned about this team through this gauntlet?
I think first of all, these guys in this locker room aren't giving up. They're not giving in. There's so much to still look forward to. There's still a chance. I was telling the guys in the locker room about that. It's just like, in every season there's moments, but we still got an unbelievable chance to do some great things. And when you come into a season, you're looking for one important goal. Everybody is. All 32 teams are, and people get eliminated along the way. People get knocked out early, whatever it may be throughout the season. And it's in a way it's like a 16-round fight. And when you go throughout the season and in that fight, you may win, certain rounds early. You may get beat down, or halfway through, near the end, whatever it may be. But hopefully, it's round 14, 15, 16. We're standing tall, and so how we go about that is going to be, great focus, great language, great belief, great detail, and seeing what we can do better. And I'm looking forward to that challenge. Looking forward to the challenge of overcoming the adversity with these guys, and that's the that's the part that we're built for, and I believe that. Our fans going to be really critical along the way. Obviously in this last home game here, and then hopefully something great can happen along the way here. But I think what's really important is just us being really focused on how we can be better.
What's the confidence that you guys? What goes into the confidence that you guys can do that this year? I mean, you guys did have put together good stretches of games.
Yeah.
What's the confidence that you could turn around from the adversity you guys have faced?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have great confidence in that. We have great confidence for multiple reasons. I think first of all, we've overcome challenges throughout the season. We've been tested. There's been highs and lows. We've overcome a lot of them. I think that the past few weeks that we've played, we felt like we've had a chance at some point in the game to whether it's the Eagles game at half, coming out the right way, we hit the flea flicker, and then just negative things happening along the way. I think the Ravens game, we felt like we were competing at the highest level, and then they made a couple more plays than us. And then this game, we just we didn't make we've been really good, I feel like, in the second half for the most part, especially offensively in terms of answering the call, especially when the score's 16-10 like that and coming out the right way. And today we didn't get to do that, and so that's the history of today, and so we got to make our own history, and do that this last game in the regular season. And I think that, and then you start all over again, like I said, come playoffs, and we got to be able to create that. We got to create that history, and how you do that is by just great belief, and unwavering belief and unwavering confidence, and at the end of the day, unwavering hard work. That's what we have to do.
As you mentioned some of the positives, is Jalen one of those, and do you have to find ways to get him the ball more often?
Yeah, I mean, Jalen's been great for us. Obviously he was, kind of injured, dinged up early in the season. He's been great for us, making some big time runs, catches, and all that. He did a really good job on the flat, the throw I threw to him out there. And, he does some really special things. He's physical. He's tough to tackle. We're excited about Jalen. He's going to be a big part of us turning this around. I think Naj too, obviously he had some good runs there, especially near the end when he touches the football. He's had a good year for us. And so, it's going to take all of us, and that's what it's going to take to be champions. It's going to take all of us. And it's going to take all of our effort, all of our mentality, all of our energy to that. And I'm counting on us to do that.
Two more.
Russ, how much more emphasis need to be put on the start of the game, actually starting off faster instead of putting yourself behind where you're playing catch-up football?
Yeah, I think it's a huge part to it. We got to start early in the games and get the first down and get the next play and make the next thing happen. Get the hopefully have a touchdown drive, the first drive of the game. That's really critical. And it doesn't define the game though, but it definitely helps. And so I think that what's really important for us is to continue to search for that, continue to find ways to get first downs, touchdowns, early in the game, especially in the first drive or two. That would be huge. Help our defense out in that way. But it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't necessarily define the game. That's why we play 4 quarters. As I said, at the end of the day, today at halftime it's 16-10, I believe. It's like it's in striking distance, and we got to make sure that when we come back out, at halftime, that we are able to do something positively with it. So we didn't get to do that today.
Anyone? All right.
Thank you guys. Yep. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you.
All right, before we head inside the locker room, just the notes I got. So this was a theory, and it's, I guess, good to see that Russ confirmed it, or maybe, I guess, people on ESPN were talking about it because that, I think even the commentators mentioned it just after it had happened. On Russ's interception, George Pickens stayed shallow when he was supposed to go deep. If he had gone deep, he would have gotten the attention of Justin Reed, the safety. He would have moved over. I'm sorry, I'm all the way up there. He would have moved over to help give support to that corner, which would have freed up Pat over the middle. And not to say it would have been a touchdown, but it had a better chance at being a touchdown had George done that. And now that's the thing. George could have misunderstood the play call. So then he's like, okay, I'm staying shallow. And then it's, wait, why was Pat down here? He's supposed to be over here. Oh, I got the play wrong. So that's absolutely possible. By the way, Caleb Williams just threw the game-losing interception to lose Thursday Night Football for the Bears. A big scoring fest of 6-3. All right, so that's the thing, is George was supposed to go deep. The commentator said it. I saw people on ESPN saying it, that George was supposed to go. Justin Reed goes, nah, and Pat's going to be more open than what he was. It's not double coverage. And this is the only real note I had on TJ. He seemed pissed off. He really did. Which Tomlin seemed pissed off. That's good. Be pissed off. So, in the media, and then in the locker room, they're not going to have Cam Hayward talks. So this was caught on something that someone posted. I saw it, but Cam said something along the lines of, when 10 of the people are doing their job and one's not, like, we're going to fail. So, and that's just been a report going around, and whether it's true or not, I have no idea. I didn't start it, so I don't know if it's true. One defensive player not doing his job, whoever that is. And maybe that's part of the changes that Mike Tomlin talked about. If there truly is a guy who's not doing his job, whether it's taking plays off or he's guessing and he's guessing wrong. And because he's guessing wrong, Mark Andrews is wide open in the end zone, or Travis Kelce is wide open in the end zone. And we don't know who it is right now. I'm sure someone could watch all the defensive plays and figure it out, and maybe get film of the sideline and try to figure it out based on body language or if anyone's talking to anybody. I'm sure someone could probably do that. And they might be right, they might be wrong. But that's very interesting, and that would be an explanation as to why. Russ, when he talked, and this may just be his personality, he does not seem pissed off. Now, he's probably like, oh man, I really wanted to win, yada yada, just like everyone. Everyone wants to win. But he did not seem pissed off like TJ and Coach Tomlin seemed pissed off. And that, like I said, maybe that's just not his personality. He definitely felt or seemed down about the loss. Like he wanted to win. Momentum is important. Well, duh, right? But the momentum and having it leads to better quality. And having the adversity now. These 3 losses, instead of getting that adversity and not knowing how to deal with it in the playoffs. That's literally what I talked about with the Tomlin press conference, where it's, have the quality, get that going into the playoffs. Don't, control is nice, but make sure you have the quality. Get that adversity now. You know how to deal with it. So then the quality in the playoffs is good. Will it cost you the division? Yeah, maybe. But then you have the quality. You have the experience of that adversity, and you know how to deal with it. Or at least you have an idea of how to deal with it. Ross mentioned something about fans being critical, and yeah, fans are gonna be critical. They absolutely are. And fans are sometimes willing to forgive things when you win. And I'll give an example. on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, people were talking about Broderick Jones and how he's not playing well, yada yada. Well, Steelers were winning, and I didn't see a whole lot on Broderick Jones. And I was like, yeah, Steelers won, but yada 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 yada. I didn't see it. Doesn't mean it wasn't there. I just didn't see it. Maybe I'm following the wrong people. I don't know. But now, 3 losses in a row, one person said, man, Broderick Jones is absolutely awful. Now, here's the one thing I have in defense of Broderick, is he's playing right tackle when he is a left tackle. Like that's the thing. Like, Dan Moore is a left tackle. He cannot play right tackle. If you were to take him and put him from left to right, he would suck. He has said it. Like, he is fully admitted to that. He is just a left tackle. He cannot play right. And I know you get some players who, let's take Joe Thuney, for example. Thuney is a guard. Now, lots of guards can play center. Lots of centers can play guard. That's the interior. You have guys, next to you on each side. Whereas a tackle, you have a guy next to you on one side, but unless you have like a tight end or something, or an offensive lineman reported as eligible, you don't have anyone to your other side. If you're a left, you have no one on your left. If you're right, you have no one on your right. Like I said, unless someone lines up next to you, a tight end, an eligible offensive lineman, whoever. But you take a guy like Thuney, who can pretty much play every single position on the offensive line, from left tackle all the way to right tackle. He is special, right? Zach Martin, he was a tackle in college, transferred over to guard, and he's going to be wearing a gold jacket someday. And when the Cowboys dealt with some injuries a couple years ago, where was Zach Martin? Going from right guard to right tackle. Some guys can make that switch between tackle, guard, center. They can. Like guys who were a tackle in college, but they were a little small. So they were told, all right, you're going to be a guard at the NFL level. And sometimes being from one side to the other, you just can't do it. You're so used to one side, one way, that going to the other side, it fucks with your brain. How many people would have issues driving if we were to say, hey, you've been driving for 15 years, let's say. And, gas is on the left, brakes on the right. If you have a manual, your clutch is all the way on the left. But let's say it's an automatic, right? So we just took your gas pedal, that's on the left, and the brake's now on the right. How many people are going to be able to do that flawlessly, right? Not screw up at all. And it's an easy transition. They don't even have to think about it. How many people would struggle a little bit, but they get the hang of it, right? And how many people would just flat out not be able to do it? They mean to slow down and they hit the gas and all of a sudden they're accelerating and then they have to switch over. It's like, no, wait, the brake's on the right now. And that's the thing. That's actually not a terrible example, and I just thought of that. Like, it's like taking your gas and brake and flipping them. Like, some will be able to transition flawlessly, some will be able to do it after some practice, and some just aren't going to get it. And then, if you give them the option, hey, would you like to go back to having the gas on the right and the brake on the left? How many people would say, yeah, let me go back? So it's going from left to right, and you're trying, and you're having a little bit of trouble, you're struggling a little bit, and then you're told, like maybe next year for Broderick Jones, if Dan Moore leaves, hey, how would you like to go back to left? Yes, please. I've been playing left for, if you want to say 15 years, just like I used in the driving example. You know, if you've been driving for 15 years, then it's like, yes, I'd like to go back to that, please. So that's just the thing. It's just some people can't do it, and some people struggle. So fans are going to be critical. I know they are. Russ said it. But also, I have the note here: fans are fans for a reason, and they don't run the team for a reason. Because as much as some people will like a guy coming out of college, and then he doesn't work out. And I've seen people say that next season they should have a bad year, and then, you know, they can draft a quarterback. They can go get a franchise quarterback. But you're expecting that when you're top 3, top 4, top 5, whatever you want to say, that you're going to get a Joe Burrow, a Josh Allen, a Patrick Mahomes, a Lamar Jackson. Now, I know a lot of these guys weren't top 5 picks. I'm just saying that quality of player, that skill level, right? But you might get Zach Wilson. You might get Trey Lance. You know, you might get Josh Rosen. Like, just because you tank for a year and draft this highly touted quarterback, you know, it's with the first pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select first name, last name, quarterback, college, university. If you know where that's from, hit that like. But it's just a thing. Like, that's not a guarantee, and that's why fans stay fans. And should. And then lastly, the gotta start fast, and you have to stay fast. Like, you know, just, okay, congratulations, you got a touchdown on the first drive and then didn't do anything for 3 quarters, almost 3 quarters, and now you're in the second half, late in the game, and you're down 2 scores, but congratulations, you scored on that first drive. Like, no. You need to score, and then you need to keep scoring if you want to be able to compete with these teams. All right, let's move to the locker room.
But there's confidence that some of this stuff is correctable here.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, our performance wasn't anything, like the work we put in for this game, but a lot of everything is, and that's the frustrating part about it. If we just went out there, played a good game, and got beat, I mean, of course that'll be frustrating, but it's more frustrating when you just, like, give it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just give it to them almost, and you don't even put up a winning effort.
Almost a couple big plays here and there that kind of cost the game.
Nah, everything, the whole game from the beginning, like, beginning, the middle, out of halftime, special teams, like, everything played a part. It wasn't, like, one thing here or there, one penalty here or there, one turnover here and there. Commanders won the game last week with 4-5 turnovers. That's not, like, you can overcome anything. So, like, it ain't no this or that. It's just, like, just playmaking and stuff.
What were they doing to get guys open? It seemed like there were just some breakdowns here and there. Travis Kelce, getting open in the middle part of the field.
We just got to be more detailed in our assignments, but just like I said, there's nothing to say. We know how we play. We got to own it. All we can do is work.
Is there a sense that there's consistent themes over the past 3 weeks with the skid that you guys are on?
Yeah, I mean, just I don't know. Just like I said, we just got to put our head down and work. But it's definitely frustrating putting out a performance like this week, back to back weeks. And so we just got to look in the mirror and own it. And we got to realize that we only have 2 guaranteed games left. And whatever we got to do, we got to put our head down and work.
Alex, how are you doing the RPO and what made that difficult?
And they were just adjusting to some of the coverages that we had and some of the blitzes that we were doing. So, but we just, like I said, some things we just weren't detailed enough with. So.
Sorry if you're asked about no sacks, no takeaways. How difficult is that with the way you guys like to play with your formula? How hard is it to win a game like that?
I was trying to figure out if that was a reporter or McCormick.
The formula beat those guys. It's getting turnovers against them, and we didn't do it. We had balls on the ground just like last week.
You're kind of bald and bearded. Is that McCormick?
So that's definitely a big difference in the game.
Deshaun, can
It's
you
so
get back to
dumb
who you were
sometimes.
in just this 10 days before the playoffs?
We have the same players, and the players haven't changed. We gotta go out there and execute. Play like us. Turn the ball, get the ball off the offense. Play well in the red zone, and get off the freaking field. Get our ball, give the offense a chance to score. We're not doing that. So. Yeah.
How do you explain the blown coverages this late in the season? How does it keep happening week
I
after
gotta look at the film today. The other weeks I couldn't tell you. I wasn't playing. This week I gotta look. I was out there on the field, so I gotta see what the problem was. I'll know tomorrow.
Deshaun, Alex said not enough guys want it right now at this
Yeah.
point of the season. Do you share that sentiment?
It looks like it, especially after we got down 22-10. At that point in time, we still had a chance to win that game. I don't care. I think we always have a chance to win the game. But it's like people started getting in the dirt. Stand up. We have the guys to stand up. We have the chemistry and the character in our room to stand up. We just got to do it. If we want to go where we want to go, we got to freaking do it.
All right. So again, guys just seem pissed off, which is good. I want you to feel that way because when you're pissed off, you might work that little bit harder. So that is very good. Calvin, talking about kind of just giving the game away. I'm not really sure if it's to the degree he said because, it was 29-10. Yeah, Russ doesn't throw a pick. Let's say it's a touchdown. That's 29-17. You're still down 12 points. It's just... You got beat. I know Pat had a fumble. And you know what? If you take away the fumble in that short field, what was that? Probably a touchdown? Then, okay, yeah. You've got, that'd be a 5-point game. And at that point, it's single. I saw someone, I think it was Adam Schefter, say this today. The Steelers are a good team, but they're not a great team. The past few games, they showed they couldn't quite yet play with the big boys. Which, you know what? That's kind of it. It's just they're that. But that is the difference between not throwing that pick, not fumbling that ball, and potentially stopping Kansas City on one of those drives and being able to walk out of that stadium with a victory. I said it after the Baltimore game. Russ's fumble, right? That was a 34-17, right? So that was a 17-point margin of victory. That is huge for a game between the Ravens and the Steelers. Take away that pick six, right? 27-17. Now you're down to 10 points, right? And then you got Russ's fumble. He doesn't fumble. Let's say they score a touchdown. Now you're down to a 3-point game, right? And you're playing a 3-point game differently than a 17-point game or a 10-point game. 2 scores, or whatever it is, 14, whatever. You're playing that completely different. And again, that's where maybe you stop Baltimore. Maybe you recover one of those 3 fumbles by them, you know? In this game, maybe you get that picks off the tip pass. Maybe you get that fumble that occurred. I'm pretty sure there was a fumble. You know, and you don't fumble and this and that and the other, and it's just the Steelers are this, right? It's this. And right now, since they can't seem to overcome that, they need more or less everything just to go perfect. And unfortunately, that is where we're at. Where they're not good enough. They're good, just not good enough. They're good enough to win a playoff game at Houston. But then once you get to the divisional round versus Baltimore, Buffalo, Kansas City, one of these 3 teams, that's just where you're not quite there. You're not. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. It is. So, I don't know. Basically, I think Pittsburgh would be able to get past and get over that with a true franchise quarterback. A Josh Allen, a Patrick Mahomes, a Lamar Jackson, heck, a Herbert, a Jalen Hurts. If they had a franchise quarterback, they're getting over that. And the one thing I gotta talk about before ending this, about any guys that don't want it. And I am going to show you what I wrote. Oh, hold on. Guys don't want it. How? How could you possibly not want it? How? And that's the 1 out of 11 on defense that's not doing his job. And that's the change that needs to be made. If you don't want it, there's the sideline, there's the bench. Because this team, you're giving up. Guys on this team are giving up before they even have a chance to respond. As soon as it was 3 and out, Kansas City scores, Steelers, whether they went 3 and out or didn't score, whatever, and Kansas City scores again, done. We're not going to win this game, And that's not the right attitude. It's not. It really isn't. Because if guys have that kind of attitude, who's to say one guy having that attitude doesn't affect one other guy that he's just talking to on the sideline, and then you have 2 guys who are in that mindset, and then 3 and 4 and 5, and before you know it, 25% of the team doesn't believe that they can do it. And it's like, well, they can't do it. I'm not going to give we can't do it. I'm not going to give full effort. It sucks. It absolutely just sucks. But you got to try. You do. And maybe it's okay. We're not going to be able to do it today. But in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, we're playing in a playoff game, and you know, that's when it's going to be full effort because it's win or go home. And like I want full effort in that playoff game. And if you're going to give it, okay, great. But I'd also appreciate full effort when, yeah, maybe it's looking a little grim out there on the field on Christmas Day when you want to be with your family, not getting into a car accident, you know, for 3 hours. Play after play after play. It's just, man, if guys are giving up, that sucks. That really does suck if guys are just giving up. So, this one went long because of rants and analysis and whatnot. So, I do apologize for that. But if you did enjoy that at all, please do leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, turn notifications on. I'll see all you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.